Ever wonder if you're part of the upper middle class? I mean, that's a question that comes up a lot, right? And today we're going to be looking at an article that has some, well, kind of interesting signs that you might be part of this group. Now, I know defining class can be tricky, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But this article goes beyond just, how much money you make. It's more about a whole financial mindset.
Yeah, it focuses on the feeling of financial well-being, like how secure and empowered you feel because of the choices you make with your money. It's not just about being rich, it's about like a certain level of comfort and freedom, I guess.
Exactly. And the first sign the article talks about is having disposable income even after you've, taken care of investments and expenses. And we're not just talking about having like $5 left over for a coffee. It's more like having a significant surplus even after you've maxed out your retirement contributions.
Hmm.
Stuff like your 401k.
Like imagine you're putting aside, the max for retirement, paying all your bills, no stress, and you still have a good chunk of change left over. That money could go towards things that like enhance your life, right? Travel, hobbies, or even saving for that investment property you've been thinking about.
It's like having a financial cushion gives you the breathing room to, I don't know, just make choices without constantly worrying about your budget
Yeah.
and that peace of mind
Yeah.
that I've got this feeling. That's a big part of what the article links with this whole upper middle class well-being idea.
It's not about just spending all your money. It's about that security to go after your goals, whatever those may be. Like some people might use that extra money to travel the world. Others might want to invest in their kids' education or start a business.
Right, right. It's all about options.
Yeah, having the freedom to choose.
Okay, so that brings us to sign number 2. Owning a mix of assets, not just your basic savings account. It's about diversifying with things like stocks, bonds, and even real estate.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like building multiple streams of financial security.
Yeah, think of it this way. You might own your house, your main house, but you also have a rental property. And that brings in some passive income.
Oh, okay, I see.
Or, maybe you've invested in a bunch of different stocks and bonds, and those are like steadily growing over time. So it's about strategically, strategically building wealth long term and having options.
So it's not just how much you earn, but how you handle your money, how you grow it. The article mentions real estate as a common investment for this group. And it's not about having a huge mansion just to show off. It's more about seeing real estate as a good long-term investment.
Exactly. And that actually leads us to another sign the article points out. Living in a more expensive neighborhood. But, and this is important, it's not about keeping up with the Joneses, or flashing your cash.
Gotcha.
It's more like nuanced
Right.
than that.
The article really focuses on the quality of life these neighborhoods tend to offer.
Yeah.
Better schools, lower crime rates, and just more convenience. And all these things can have a huge impact on how you feel, how secure you feel.
Yeah, think about what's important to you in a neighborhood. Is it, I don't know, green spaces, a real community feel, good schools for your kids? These are all things that a lot of people in the upper middle class think about when they are choosing where to live.
It's about making your living environment, I guess, match your values and like long-term goals.
Exactly.
It's investing in a lifestyle, and that can often mean choosing a neighborhood that reflects those priorities. Okay, here's one I think everyone can relate to. Minimal financial stress. Imagine not worrying about unexpected expenses.
Oh, yeah.
That would be nice.
The article gives a really good example. Let's say your car breaks down and it needs a major repair. For someone who's upper middle class, this wouldn't be like a panic situation.
Right.
They'd likely have an emergency fund or enough savings to deal with it without messing up their whole budget.
So it's not about being rich, really. It's more about having that buffer, that financial buffer, so you can handle life's little or big surprises.
Exactly.
Without being, completely thrown off track.
Yeah.
It's about having the freedom to, I don't know, weather those storms.
Yeah, that feeling of security, knowing you can handle whatever comes your way, that's really important for your overall well-being, You can focus on what matters most without that constant worry about money.
And that actually leads perfectly into the next sign the article talks about, positive lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
But before you picture someone going on crazy shopping sprees, remember, it's not about that.
Right.
At all.
It's about having the means to experience things that like really enhance your life, things that might have been out of reach before. Think about, I don't know, spontaneous trips, trying new hobbies, or even having access to better health care. It's all about having the freedom to prioritize experiences and personal growth.
Yeah, the article mentions being able to try that new restaurant everyone's talking about, or maybe taking up a hobby like golf or skiing,
Yeah.
things that make life richer, more fulfilling, without causing, financial strain.
It goes back to that financial freedom we were talking about earlier. When you're not constantly worried about money, you can invest in experiences that make you happy, that broaden your horizons, and that contribute to your overall well-being.
It's a good time to ask yourself, you know, what would a better quality of life look like for you? What experiences or opportunities would you go for if you had that extra level of financial security?
I think it's a good question to think about because it helps us, I don't know, define what really matters.
Totally. And once you figure out those priorities, you can start to align your financial goals with the kind of life you want to create. Be intentional with your money and use it as a tool to achieve your aspirations. And speaking of aspirations, let's talk about a big one, affording higher education.
Yeah, that's a big one. This is something a lot of people worry about, right?
Yeah,
And the article points out that the upper middle class often has the means to pay for college, whether for themselves or their kids, without racking up tons of debt. Yeah, it's about being able to invest in your future or your children's future without being crushed by student loans. It can take years, even decades, to pay those off. Attending a top university or going for advanced degrees, it becomes more attainable without the worry of debt hanging over your head.
and that can have such a huge impact on your career, your overall financial well-being down the road. It's about setting yourself up for success without being weighed down from the start.
Exactly.
And speaking of setting yourself up for success, let's talk about early retirement. I mean, that's the dream for a lot
Yeah.
of people, right?
It is.
The article suggests that early retirement is more, I guess, achievable for this group because they're financially savvy, they plan ahead. It's not about being lazy or anything.
Oh,
It's
no.
about, having the financial freedom to choose when and how you want to work.
Right, exactly.
They give the example of someone aiming to retire by 55. Now, that might sound impossible to some people, but with good planning and a focus on building financial security, maybe it's not as far-fetched as it seems.
It's about taking control. Taking control of your financial future and making choices that fit with your long-term goals. Early retirement, starting a business, traveling the world, whatever you want to do, having that financial stability gives you the freedom to pursue it.
And that brings us to our last sign for today, having multiple streams of income. It's about, not just relying on one job,
Mm.
diversifying your income sources.
Yeah, think about it. In today's world, having multiple income streams is like having a safety net.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If one source dries up, you've got others to fall back on. You're building resilience, financial security in a world that can be unpredictable.
That's a good point. The article lists things like rental income, dividends from stocks, or even money you make from a side hustle or a small business. It's about creating a, more solid financial foundation that can handle the ups and downs.
It's a smart strategy, especially these days when job security can be iffy and the economy can be a little bit up and down. Having those multiple income streams can give you a sense of stability and peace of mind so you can go after your goals with more confidence.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about 8 signs the article gives as possible indicators of being in the upper middle class.
Hmm.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to stress something really important.
Yeah, I agree.
This isn't about checking off boxes or comparing yourself to others.
Definitely not.
It's about, I guess, understanding those core principles of financial well-being and using these signs as, like, guideposts on your own journey.
It's about taking stock of where you are right now, figuring out your goals, and then seeing what strategies you can use to build the financial security and freedom you want.
Exactly. Everyone's path is different, and success means something different to everyone.
Absolutely. The important thing is to be intentional, make informed decisions, and enjoy the process as you go. And as you move forward, think about this. The article mainly focuses on the money side of the upper middle class. But what other factors contribute to their well-being?
Oh, that's a great question. Things like having good social connections, a sense of purpose and fulfillment, access to good healthcare and education.
Yes, exactly.
These are all things that add up to a truly, rich and meaningful life. And those are all things we'll be talking about more in the next part of our deep dive.
It's kind of interesting how these financial signs we talked about, they often go hand in hand with bigger lifestyle choices and values.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like take that thing about living in a more expensive neighborhood. It's not just D about the house itself, right?
Right.
It's more about what that choice, that decision, what it says about you.
Yeah, exactly. It often shows, I think, a commitment to a certain quality of life.
Yeah.
Things like better schools, that sense of community, access to cultural stuff. It's about creating an environment, I guess, that supports personal growth and well-being.
And that, in a way, connects back to like minimizing that financial stress, right?
Right.
When you feel good about your finances, you're more likely to, I don't know, make choices that put your well-being first in like all areas of your life.
It's like a positive feedback loop almost. Financial
Yeah.
security gives you the power to make choices that then like improve your quality of life even more, which then can lead to, even better financial stability.
So it's not about chasing wealth just to be rich.
Right.
It's more about using your resources to like build a life that really reflects what you care about.
Exactly. And that brings us to something that's often seen as like a classic upper middle class thing, early retirement. Our article says it's easier for this group to retire early because they're good with money and they plan ahead.
But what I find really interesting is how the whole idea of retirement is changing. It's not just about like stopping work completely anymore. For a lot of people, it's about, I don't know, moving into a different phase of life with more flexibility, more freedom to do the things they're passionate about.
That's true. The article even uses this example, someone who wants to retire by 55. Now, that might sound crazy to a lot of people,
Yeah.
but the point is, with some planning and a real focus on building financial security, it might not be as impossible as you think.
It's about, I guess, taking charge, right?
Yeah, taking control.
Taking control of your finances and making choices that, match up with your long-term goals, whether that's retiring early, starting a business, or just having more time to travel or do hobbies. It's all about having the resources to design a future that gets you excited.
Exactly. And that's where those multiple streams of income we talked about, those become really important, whether it's rental income, dividends from those investments you made, or even a little side hustle that you enjoy.
Right.
All those extra sources of income can give you that financial cushion to actually make those dreams a reality.
It's like a safety net, not just for unexpected expenses, but for like a whole new chapter in your life.
Exactly.
It gives you the freedom to, I don't know, try different things, pursue opportunities that maybe weren't there before.
Absolutely. And it all goes back to the idea that being upper middle class isn't just about hitting a certain income number, right?
Right.
It's about a whole way of thinking.
Yeah, a mindset.
Yeah, it's about being proactive with your money, making those smart investment decisions and always looking for ways to grow your wealth and create that financial stability.
It's about being intentional, right?
Intentional, yeah.
And making choices that, line up with those long-term goals, whether that's early retirement, financial independence, or just that peace of mind that comes from knowing, you're in control of your finances.
Exactly.
But, we've been talking about all these financial markers, but I can't help but think there's more to this conversation.
Oh, for sure.
The article, it really focuses on the money part,
Yeah.
but there's more to upper middle class well-being than just the numbers, right?
I agree. We've touched on it a little bit, right? Investing in a good education, putting experiences before things, fostering a sense of community. These choices, they often point to a deeper set of values.
Exactly. It's like there's a connection between being financially well off and like focusing on personal growth, building strong relationships, contributing to something, I don't know, something bigger than yourself.
It's like well-being means more than just having enough money. It also means having a sense of purpose, feeling fulfilled, and being connected to others. Those things, they make a huge difference in how we experience life no matter how much money we have.
And that's something I'd love to like really explore. What are those non-financial markers of upper middle class well-being? How do things like, I don't know, social capital, having access to good health care and that feeling of belonging, how do those fit into all of this?
That's a great question, especially these days when there's so much focus on, material wealth. Maybe true upper middle class well-being is about finding that balance between having enough money and having a life that's full of meaning and connection.
Let's dig into those non-financial aspects of well-being a little more, see how they connect with this whole upper middle class experience.
Hmm.
All right, so we've talked a lot about, the financial side of being upper middle class.
Yep.
But now let's switch gears a bit, okay? Let's talk about those non-financial things that can really, I guess, affect your overall well-being, like we touched on earlier.
Yeah, it's all about like What really makes for a fulfilling life, no matter how much money you've got. And one thing that often comes up is this idea of social capital.
Hmm. Social capital. I'm kind of curious, what exactly does that mean, like in this context?
So it's basically about the relationships you have, right? The networks, the trust, the shared values that make you feel like you belong, like you're part of a community. Think about it. Having people you can count on, feeling connected to something bigger than yourself, and even, having access to different resources and opportunities because of those connections.
So it's not just about knowing a bunch of people, right? It's more about having those deeper, more meaningful relationships, the kind that can really make your life better.
Exactly. And, studies actually show that having those strong social connections can lower stress, improve your mental and physical health, and even help you live longer. It's like having like a built-in support system to help you deal with whatever life throws at you.
Makes you wonder, right? Like, is that focus on relationships? Is that part of why we see that overall well-being that we often link with the upper middle class?
It's a good question. We often see people in that upper middle class group, they're like involved in their communities, volunteering,
Yeah.
or just making time for social events, for real, genuine interactions. It's like they get how important those connections are, and they actually put in the effort to build them and keep them strong.
Which I guess makes sense when you think about how stressful it can be to, not have enough money. If you're always worried about finances, it's harder to find the time and energy to build those relationships.
For sure. For sure. It's like when you've got that financial stability, it frees you up to focus on other parts of your life, like your social life. And, while we're on the topic of well being, we got to talk about healthcare.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sadly, having access to good health care often depends on, how much money you have. Having that access to preventative care, getting treatment when you need it, those specialized services, they can make a huge difference.
It's not even just about having insurance, right? It's about being able to see doctors who are knowledgeable and, compassionate, doctors who understand you and your background. It's about feeling like your healthcare team listens to you and that you can trust the care you're getting.
It's about that peace of mind, knowing that you and your family can get the best care possible if you need it. That feeling of security, it can really take away a lot of stress and worry so you can, focus on other things.
Exactly. And that brings us to what I think is the last piece of this whole non-financial well-being thing. Having a sense of purpose,
Yeah.
feeling fulfilled.
Yeah, it's about feeling like your life has meaning, like you're doing something that matters. You're going after goals that, I don't know, really resonate with you, with your values, your passions, whether those goals are about your career, your hobbies, or how you're involved in your community.
It's about feeling, engaged, excited about life, like you have something to look forward to. And that feeling, that sense of purpose can be really powerful. It can give you direction, it can motivate you, and it can help you be more resilient when things get tough.
It makes you wonder if there's like a link between this sense of purpose and that financial stability we've been talking about. Like, does having money allow people to, explore their passions, make a difference in ways they couldn't before?
That's a great question. Maybe having that financial security, maybe that's like a base, a foundation that lets people go after those things that really give their life meaning. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's that strong sense of purpose that pushes people to, create that financial stability so they can go after their goals without like anything holding them back.
Maybe it's a bit of both, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Like they work together, each one making the other stronger. So if we're talking about real upper middle class well-being, it seems like it's not just about the money, but also about having these other things, these non-financial parts of a good life.
It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
between having financial security, strong relationships, access to good resources, and that deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. And the best part is, these are things we can all work towards, no matter what our finances look like right now.
That's so true. It's about making choices, investing in our relationships, going after our passions, and, doing something that contributes to the world around us. Yeah. It's a journey that's open to everyone.
And as we wrap up our deep dive for today, I think that's the big takeaway. Well-being is this like complex, ever-evolving thing. It's not a finish line you cross, it's more like an ongoing journey,
Yeah.
A journey of growth, connection, and always discovering new things.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We hope this has given you some things to think about, maybe even inspired you to create a life that's both financially secure and deeply fulfilling.